Raider Nation, what in the world is going on with this team? Every week, it feels like we're hitting a new low. I don't even know if you can call what we saw on Sunday a football game, because honestly, it looked more like a comedy sketch that no one was laughing at. The Las Vegas Raiders are supposed to be a proud franchise, a team built on toughness and commitment to excellence. But what we watched was a team that looked like it quit. It looked like the players have checked out on Pete Carroll, and honestly, I can't even blame them at this point. After everything this fan base has been through, after the endless promises, rebuilds, coaching changes, and all the so-called new beginnings, this is what we're left with, a team that looks worse than ever. When the Raiders took that field against Kansas City, the world was watching. Prime time, a chance to prove something. And instead, they completely fell apart. 31-0. That's not just a bad day. It's a flat-out embarrassment. It looked like a college powerhouse scrimmaging against a local high school. Kansas City did whatever they wanted whenever they wanted. It didn't matter if it was on offense, defense, or special teams. They controlled every inch of the field while the Raiders stood there looking lost, lifeless, and completely unprepared. And that's the most frustrating part. Not just losing. It's the lack of fight, the lack of effort, the lack of pride. I don't know what's happening inside that locker room, but from the outside, it's obvious something is broken. The energy is gone. The chemistry is gone. And honestly, the belief is gone too. You can see it in the players' body language. You can see it in the way they walk off the field after another 3-and-out. You can see it when Max Crosby looks around like he's the only one still trying. It's heartbreaking. These guys aren't just losing games, they're losing faith. And let's be real, this offense is an absolute disaster. You could dress it up however you want, but there's no spark, no creativity, no rhythm. The Raiders punted almost every drive. The play calling was prehistoric. The execution was worse. Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly, the so-called offensive minds leading this team, are coaching like it's the Stone Age. It's not 2013 anymore. The league has evolved. Every other team is playing fast, smart, innovative football, while the Raiders are running the same tired plays that go nowhere. And every time you think it can't get worse, somehow it does. Look at that offensive sequence against Kansas City. Punt after punt after punt. It was like a broken record. You'd think at some point they'd figure out how to move the ball past midfield. But no, the Raiders had fewer first downs than a college backup squad. And for what? You're paying your offensive coordinator more than anyone else in the league. And this is what we get? The worst offense in the National Football League. That's not an overreaction. That's just a fact. The defense wasn't much better. Missed tackles, blown assignments, and not a single ounce of intensity. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs barely broke a sweat. Every drive was smooth, methodical, and controlled. You knew exactly how it was going to end, either a touchdown or a field goal. The Raiders couldn't stop a thing. And that's when it really hit me. This isn't just about one bad game. This is a reflection of a team that has quit on its coach. I've seen this before. It's the same movie with a different cast. We saw it with Josh McDaniels, and now we're watching the sequel under Pete Carroll. The same confusion, the same lack of accountability, the same finger-pointing and empty speeches. The only difference now is that the players look even more defeated. It's one thing to lose. It's another thing to look like you don't even care anymore. And that's exactly where the Raiders are right now. What's worse is that this coaching staff seems completely out of touch. It's like they're living in their own world, pretending everything's fine, while the rest of us can see the disaster unfolding in real time. They keep talking about culture and effort and fundamentals, but none of that shows up on Sundays. Every game feels like déjà vu. The same mistakes, the same slow starts, the same lifeless performances. At some point, you have to stop talking and start fixing things. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. You know what makes it even harder to swallow? The fans. Raider Nation doesn't deserve this. Week after week, they show up. They travel. They buy the gear. They fill the stadium. They live and breathe this team. And what do they get in return? Another pathetic showing, another false promise. This fan base has been through everything, relocations, rebuilds, heartbreaks, and they still stand strong. But the team on the field, they're not matching that energy. They're not honoring that commitment. And Pete Carroll, man, I don't even know where to start. 74 years old and still trying to prove he can lead a rebuild. But it's clear this isn't working. The game has passed him by. You can't keep doing things the same old way and expect different results. The players have tuned him out, and the locker room has lost its voice. Leadership matters, and right now, this team doesn't have any. Reports are already coming out about locker room frustration. Players are unhappy. Some have even started speaking up anonymously, saying what we all can see. There's no trust between the players and the coaching staff. Guys like Jamal Adams hinted at it a few weeks ago. Something's not right. And now it's boiling over. The veterans are frustrated, the young guys are confused, and everyone else is just waiting for the season to end. Then there's the Jacoby Myers situation. That one speaks volumes. When a guy like Jacoby, one of your most reliable, hardworking players, suddenly sits out right after trade rumors start. That tells you everything you need to know. You can call it a knee injury, a foot injury, whatever excuse you want, but let's be honest, he's done. He's checked out because he's tired of this mess. He's tired of being part of a team that has no direction, no leadership, and no hope. And if Jacoby's done, you better believe other players are thinking the same thing. The Raiders are stuck in a loop, a never-ending cycle of poor management, bad coaching, and wasted potential. Every year it's the same story. New coach, new system, new promises. And every year it ends the same way, with frustration, disappointment, and excuses. The front office keeps selling hope, but hope doesn't win games. Execution does. Leadership does. Accountability does. And right now, the Raiders don't have any of it. The worst part is we're only in week 7, and it already feels like the season's over. There's no spark, no fight, no reason to believe things will turn around. The bye week isn't going to fix anything because the problem isn't rest. It's culture. It's direction. It's leadership. And until that changes, nothing else will. The Raiders will keep spinning their wheels, going nowhere fast, while the rest of the league passes them by. This team has lost its identity. The Raiders used to be about grit, toughness, and swagger. They were feared. Now, they're a punchline. Opponents laugh, analysts shake their heads, and fans are left wondering how it got this bad. But deep down, we all know why. It's because the people in charge refuse to admit that what they're doing isn't working. They keep doubling down on failure, hoping somehow it'll turn into success. It won't. So here we are again, Raider Nation, sitting in the wreckage, trying to make sense of another collapse. And it hurts. It hurts because this team means something. It hurts because we've seen what this fan base can be when there's something worth believing in. But right now, there's nothing. Just frustration, disappointment, and the bitter realization that the Raiders, once again, have quit on themselves. You can feel it in every conversation around Raider Nation right now. Fans aren't even arguing about stats anymore or trying to defend the team on social media. The energy has shifted from hope to exhaustion. People are just tired. Tired of watching the same mistakes. Tired of hearing the same speeches. Tired of believing that the next game will be different when deep down they know it won't. There was a time when Sunday was sacred for Raiders fans, when it meant pride, fire, and unity. Now it feels like a chore, like sitting through another painful reminder of how far this team has fallen. When Pete Carroll was brought in, there was at least a little bit of optimism. People thought his experience and energy might be enough to bring some structure to a franchise that's been searching for stability for 2 decades. But the truth is, that experiment failed faster than anyone could have imagined. This is not a young coach finding his rhythm. This is an old-school coach trying to make a modern team play by rules that don't work anymore. You can see it in the game plans. You can see it in how slow the team looks compared to everyone else. Every other franchise is building around innovation and speed, while the Raiders are stuck playing football from a different era. And when a locker room senses that kind of disconnect, it's over. Players talk. They vent. They stop buying in. That's when things start to unravel. The defensive guys blame the offense for not scoring points. The offense blames the play calling. The veterans stop mentoring. The younger players start thinking about their next team. You can see it happening in real time. Every press conference feels forced. Every answer sounds rehearsed. It's like the players are just going through the motions because that's what they're supposed to do. But the passion, the belief, it's gone. That's why Jacoby Myers' situation feels like such a turning point. This is a player who came into the season as a professional, someone who worked hard, stayed quiet, and did his job. For him to suddenly sit out right when trade rumors started, that says a lot. You don't need to be inside the building to know what's happening. When a respected player like Jacoby starts to distance himself, it sends a message to the entire locker room. It tells everyone that even the pros who normally stay above the drama have had enough. The official line might say injury, but the real story is frustration. He's done believing in this process because it's not leading anywhere. And honestly, can you blame him? Look at how this organization handles talent. Time after time, the Raiders sign or draft players with potential, only to watch them stagnate or regress. It's a pattern that never ends. There's no player development, no accountability, just empty slogans and recycled excuses. Every time they talk about building a foundation, they tear it down a few months later. It's like they're afraid of consistency. And because of that, players never grow. Coaches never adapt. The entire system just keeps collapsing under its own confusion. Then there's the way Pete Carroll and his staff handle adversity. Instead of taking responsibility, they talk about execution and trusting the process. But that line only works for so long. At some point, you have to produce results. You have to show that all that talk means something. Instead, it's the same pattern. Fall behind early, fail to adjust, and then talk about effort in the post-game interview as if that makes up for another embarrassing loss. The fans aren't buying it anymore. The players aren't buying it either. And honestly, it feels like even Pete Carroll doesn't believe his own words sometimes. You can see the frustration spilling out on the field. Watch the body language during games. The players are arguing. The sidelines are quiet. The star players look checked out. That's the sign of a team that's lost its soul. There's no fight left. The few who still care are being dragged down by the ones who've given up. And that's the worst kind of environment in football, because losing becomes normal. It becomes accepted. Once that happens, you're done. You can't coach your way out of that kind of apathy. And now, as the trade deadline approaches, things are only getting messier. There are rumors everywhere. Teams calling about Jacoby Myers. Other names being floated around too. The front office might pretend it's business as usual, but everyone knows what's really happening. This is a fire sale waiting to happen. When a team quits on its coach, and its coach can't reach the locker room anymore, you start clearing house. It's what losing organizations do when they've run out of answers. And the Raiders, right now, look like a team with zero answers. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what is already sending shockwaves through the NFL rumor mill, the Las Vegas Raiders have reportedly secured the services of Kyle Dugger, and insiders suggest the move could have an immediate impact on the team's secondary. Dugger, known for his versatile coverage skills and explosive athleticism, has been a player under constant scrutiny ever since his standout performances at Lenoir and later with the Patriots. While the Raiders have not officially disclosed every detail of the deal, sources close to the organization hint that this could be a game-changing addition. Whispers around the league indicate that Dugger's arrival may solve some of the Raiders' long-standing issues in the defensive backfield. Las Vegas has struggled to find a reliable presence in the secondary, particularly against mobile quarterbacks and in schemes requiring hybrid safety linebacker flexibility. Dugger, whose blend of speed, instincts, and tackling prowess has been praised in scouting circles, fits that mold perfectly. Some analysts speculate that he could immediately slot into a key safety role, perhaps even reshaping defensive packages that have been underperforming in recent seasons. Fans and pundits alike are already buzzing about how this addition might change the dynamics of the Raiders' defensive approach. Rumors suggest the coaching staff is particularly excited about the versatility Dugger brings. Sources claim he could see time both in deep coverage and in more aggressive, near-the-line-of-scrimmage roles. There's even chatter that Dugger's presence might open the door for younger defensive backs to thrive, allowing the team to experiment with bold formations without sacrificing stability. Of course, as with any high-profile acquisition, questions remain. How quickly will Dugger adapt to the Raiders' defensive schemes? Can he translate his skills from his previous system into consistent impact on Sundays in Las Vegas? And perhaps most intriguingly, will his signing spark a domino effect, prompting other teams to make defensive moves in response? The rumor mill is heating up, and insiders are keeping a close eye on every development. One thing seems certain. If Dugger can deliver on even a fraction of his potential, the Raiders' secondary may be a very different and far more dangerous unit by the start of the season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.